Grand rise, grand evening, grand afternoon. um, I want to build with y'all real quick. I want to talk to you about this self-awareness journey I've been taking. Um, and I'm starting to figure this shit out. You know, it's not about the things that you're missing out on, the things that you're doing at the current moment, because I believe within every single person on this planet, there's a level of unsurety, no matter what you're dealing with. And the outside spaces can cultivate certain things and use it as your entertainment because you feel this way inside. What do I mean by that? Via comedy, music, entertainment of some form. Oh man, that was great. But then previously in your life, you might have touched on something that you believe to be great, just never made it that far. Well, for me, it dawned on me not too long ago because I was building with my homeboy and just touching on some of the great things I did back in the day and wondered why completion didn't take place. I'm not going to expound on some things because it'll be like pulling my own chain, but in the same breath, it had everything to do with the little unsureties that I might have carried with me. And those little unsureties can grow into blocks that will just end up being a wall that you have to try to find a way around. So even when you're actually in the act of doing something, no matter what it is you're doing, you're only doing that to prove to yourself, not you physically, but yourself inside, what your capabilities are, to label the capabilities within yourself. There's going to be a time, especially when you're young, there's going to be a time that will, if you don't complete certain things when you're young, there's going to be a time that passes. And that time is going to come full circle and give you the opportunity to remember the greatness that you carry. And that greatness will be stacked upon all understandings. It's almost like you saying, remember when, I wish, or if I had, in some circumstances, like why I don't know before this took place. And in fact, just not looking at the unsureties. And they even put commercials out on TV. Everybody needs somebody sometimes. Everybody needs somebody sometimes. And that's not true. You want people that you come into this world with to be a part, when in fact you don't need them. You need to understand, moreover, that your gifts are with you at the moment. Giving thanks to something is completely different. But having enough respect and wherewithal within yourself to know what you're capable of is something completely different. And that may go over some of our heads sometimes. Because we striving, right? Because we striving, we pushing, we trying to go forward. We think that what we doing is going to work out via the energy that you feeling at the moment. F it, I'm just going to do this. I can't be stopped. And then you're stopped. Wondering why things don't work out in that aspect. Well, you have shortcomings. These shortcomings can be your own personal reference to how you view the situation, or certain inadmissibles inside yourself that you feel are not great enough to stand up to the quality of what you're dealing with. So then you have the negative aspect of the world that tries to capitalize on that. Yeah, it's still negative energy. This is where you get molestation from, and when you get people trying to hurt your feelings, and when you get thievery from, and manipulation and lies. See, because another person can feel their own inadmissibles in their self. So instead of focusing on their issue, they rather point out yours. That's a direct mirror to the circumstance. Instead of helping you, motivate you, or giving you that energy, even if they don't believe or know how you're going to accomplish something, still being there to push you forward. See, because you'll have friends in the world that be like, nah, that ain't going to work. You can't do that. That's a hater. That's not really your friend. So why do you have them connected to you? Family members too. Oh, look at how this and look at how that. And I don't think, and this, that, and the third. Well, where'd you get those thoughts from? Who tells you what you can say to the individual who has a belief system? Especially when it's growing in a positive direction to add more to your life. What is more? Living. Living more in the means of which you're living now. Isn't that what life about? And you have other people who even shy away from love because they either don't know what love is, or got so much of the love they really don't love it. They're just mixed up in the aspect of having attention. See, there's an old passage back in the day. It says you can drink but don't get drunk. So forth and on with everything else. Basically, it's talking about overindulgence. See, overindulgence happens in the worst of characteristic ways. Control, ownership, food purposes, jealousy. These manifestations come out of people who have shortcomings within themselves, but yet still choose to point out yours. This is when the problem goes on too long without even being fixed individually. Just know, even when shortcomings happen within creation of what you're trying to put together in your life, you might miss it that one time, but it's going to come right back around, and it's going to come back around to show you how great you was for that idea. This is almost like reliving that energy once again, but this time you got wisdom. And most people, when they get their second breath, they throw it away because of fear. That same little admissible that was in them the first time, it comes back around full circle. And they say, well, now I'm too old, or now I'm this, or now I'm that. They make excuses. But before the excuse was you, before it was the person pointing out why you couldn't do this or the flaws you may have had, before it was the comedy joke or the song played. This is us being mindful in the level of creation, because you know what, the world gonna keep spinning regardless. So you might as well make your marketing and make it good to where the purpose has meaning. And don't be slight to the fact you might come into this world with more meaning than anybody ever seen. That might be enough to hold you back. So be mindful of these things that are taking place in the world. Especially when you know you're great. That greatness didn't just come with the attitude. It didn't just come with, oh, I chose to be great this morning. It was a gift from everything that's great around you. How do you fit into a world of full greatness and not see that within yourself? and one's lack thereof who don't choose to see it in yourself, they have to figure this out for themselves. This is dealing with self-awareness and self-character. It's not to point out a reason why you shouldn't do it. It's to point out the reason why you think you can't. Watch for the excuses. Watch for the lies. Watch for the fake walls that try to hold you back. Because when you sweep all that bull crap out of there, you're going to fly, baby. You're going to fly. Respect. You already know the vibes. NAGA.